Have you ever wondered why men no longer pursue and chase women today? There used to be a time when every woman had a bunch of guys thirsting after her, just waiting for the moment to talk to her, to make his move, and to see if he could claim the prize. But now, it's just not the same anymore. What has changed? Is it because dating and relationships have evolved over time? Or is it simply because men just don't want to waste time anymore, or that women are just not that attractive anymore? I think it's also important to understand that men usually see the pros and cons of everything before they take any action. And the cons of chasing women these days are far higher than the pros. For them, it's just not worth the risk. Here are 6 reasons why men don't chase women anymore, and why this is a real dilemma for modern women. Number 1. The reward-to-risk ratio doesn't favor men. Today, pursuing, chasing, or approaching women nearly always results in humiliation, being called a creep, or just being ignored and socially isolated. This is because most men are perceived by women as scavengers or just desperate. They will be fine if they already know a guy and want him to contact them, but that is another matter. But it is simply not worthwhile for a man to approach an unidentified woman. There are too many risks. For men, it can also mean complete ignorance and social embarrassment, as well as a generalized dread of rejection that they will have. If a guy approached a lady respectfully to start a conversation, she would likely embarrass him more often than not. In a video I saw, a man makes an absolute mess of himself by trying to talk to a woman without being rude or odd. The woman fabricated the claim that the contact was unusual and posted it to social media for laughs, attention, and perhaps a shot at becoming viral. I found myself thinking about why in the world I would want to approach a lady today as I saw this happen. Number 2. Women are hypergamous by nature. We also need to realize that different women treat different guys in different ways in order to understand why this is taking place. I'll explain because I know you might be unsure of what this means. I want you guys to consider social class and the impact that value has on how people are treated. Consider instances in your own life where you were approached by a ragged beggar or a homeless person. You immediately went on the defensive and made up your mind not to communicate with them or give them anything. Women's conditions are substantially worse now than they were a century ago, but the same is true for them. Women need to always exercise extra caution since men might take them against their will. Number 3. Women love humiliating men in public. The problem emerges when you see a woman publicly humiliate a man for merely approaching her in a public setting with many observers while conscious that she is quite secure. If we look a bit closer, we can only conclude that contemporary women no longer value the typical man or men in general. Do you think a lady who is known for treating the common and inferior men that approach her with contempt will treat Jeff Bezos the same way? Without a doubt. He is a well-known billionaire with influence and dominance. She wouldn't have the temerity to belittle him. You can see that everything ultimately boils down to a man's status and perceived worth based on how he behaves, communicates, and approaches the woman. As I indicated before, a woman will treat different guys differently depending on how she perceives them. She will treat the man as though he is useless or inferior if she doesn't believe he is better than her. On the other hand, if she believes that a guy is superior to her, she would treat him with respect and be more accepting of him. Take a look at how a woman and her employer interact. Now imagine whom she'd treat with respect if they approached her, the boss or the janitor. It's very clear that contemporary women no longer respect men. And I believe that the majority of guys have realized this and have chosen not to engage in conversation with these women. Today, men have decided just not to indulge in any behavior that allows women to disrespect and invalidate them. Women's behavior towards men has just gone down the drain, and men have realized this. They have chosen their reputation, integrity, and respect over the disrespect and humiliation extended by women towards them. Seriously. I'd be much better off not approaching women because I swear I've heard stories of women calling the police over guys approaching them. Obviously, there was nothing wrong with the guys, they just didn't suit their ideal profile in the areas of appearance and wealth. Why then would I or anyone else subject themselves to anything like this? It is not logical. Additionally, I believe that a significant portion of women are simply no longer worth contacting. I believe women desire men's validation in public so they may flaunt it in their circles, embarrass the man, and feel validated, something they can never get enough of. Number 4. Women aren't worth the chase anymore. A man will presume a woman doesn't want to talk to him if she appears cold and closed off, and he won't want to approach that woman if he likes her and wants to strike up a conversation with her. That is how crucial it is to smile and project an open, welcoming body language. Modern women, however, don't give a damn and aren't willing to adapt. Men will therefore also refrain from attempting to reach, and that is final. However, they complain that men are pursuing and chasing them when they don't. As a result, whenever men encounter women they admire, despite their desire to approach her, her body language and attitude cause them to want to back away. Women then gripe that males no longer approach them. Ladies, if you want people to approach you, at the very least, work on your appearance to make it nicer and friendlier. You don't always have to appear as though you're about to explode in rage. Otherwise, even if you want guys to approach you, they would just ignore you. Men have simply had it with women's constant whining and unreasonable expectations. Women don't desire unattractive males. Men are just now starting to awaken and comprehend everything. They don't have time to worry about women who are useless to contact. Women don't seem to understand how generally unfair the game is for guys. They desire what they desire. Men will also stop tolerating unwelcoming behavior from women. Number 5. Technology and social media have changed how dating works. The society and culture of 7 or 8 decades ago were indeed very different from the era we now live in. Why are men not pursuing women anymore? Why are males approaching women in a different way than they did in the past? What happened during this time? Do guys not want to be with women, or are they just tired of seeking them? No matter how far away from you a woman was, there was no quick way to get in touch with her before social media, smartphones, and the internet. Since there was no other way to interact with women back then, men would physically approach them to show that they were interested in them. A guy had to follow social norms by dressing appropriately and even chatting with the girl's parents before asking her out on a date. It was a completely traditional and formal affair. The effort involved was significant at the time. You have to organize everything on your own. It was easy and, I guess, a little more exciting. Since you didn't have the option of looking her up on social media, you probably had an image of the person in your head that you saw and liked. And that's what prompted guys to approach the woman face to face and ask for a date. Since that was the way things were back then, most people dating inside their own groups. The distance was a real issue before, but not now. Today, you may have a live online conversation with anyone, anywhere in the globe. Therefore, both men and women did not have access to such luxury in the past. These amenities certainly allow us to spend less time and money on socializing and going on dates with others, but they also lessen the authenticity of such interactions. It was serious business back then. There was little interaction. Before getting married, men had a maximum of 2 opportunities to meet and get to know women. Because they had no other choice, men had no choice but to approach women. And for this reason, I believe that the level of chemistry, connection, and mutual understanding was much higher than it is now. On social media, a person seeking you could also like you and find you attractive, but at the same time, they may also like and find attractive 10 other people on the same scale. They would have half-hearted conversations online, and even during dating, they'd still be engrossed in their phones trying to get the perfect click for the gram or speaking on a group chat. I mean, we are super connected now as compared to before, yet, we are disconnected from each other on so many levels. Number 6. Men are going their own way. The rise of MGTOW men has led to a rise in fewer men chasing women. This means that since there are fewer men in the dating pool for women, they are now realizing that they don't have as many chances to land a suitable partner for life. Someone they can use and exploit. Someone they can train to become subservient to them. All in all, men will therefore simply enjoy their own company, avoid foolishness, and joyfully pursue their passions. They are better off engaging with women online to determine who they can spend their time with because they have more possibilities now. They have greater power and options. So, These were some main reasons why single men don't chase women anymore. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel.